Hello ladies and gentlemen, as always I'm your host AirsoftAL, and no gun review today, nor any gear review. Well, gear in the sense of it's communications, comms. And for those of you who do know me by now, I actually do run comms at Sector 9, and I do play with some teammates who actually do play with comms as well. My comm, of course, is the AR-152 by Baofeng. And before, because this is basically part of a radio pack project that is on hold at the moment because of a lot of stuff happening, the biggest thing is the whole, just the fact of I can't exactly hold it up to my mouth and be talking about it, and the mic I do have is one that's retro because I love retro things. The mic in question, of course, is this lovely thing, and yes, this does connect to, of course, the baofeng via this little bit right here, but that's for a review I'm going to do on the baofeng later down the line. Now, of course, you're probably wondering why I have this. Again, it's for a radio pack project, but I did love using it, and of course you could actually see it and hear it in one of the gameplay videos I had from a long while back, or at least for the new year, and it does work out pretty well. But we're not talking about this, because this taught me a very valuable lesson. Having this in one hand and holding a gun in another, trying to contact and talk to my teammates, not exactly a good idea, and is pretty inconvenient as a whole. Oh, is me! What was I to do? I said to myself. Well, I talked with veterans. I even talked to my stepdad, who actually told me about what I should look for in an actual comm setup. A throat mic, to be exact, along with an earpiece. That way, not only do I still have some directional hearing, but I also have a not-in-the-way microphone setup. Well, I found one for about 24 bucks, or at least $25 with tax, but a sub-$30 mic setup is not that bad, and I thought it was going to be more expensive. It really did, but this one, not so much, and legit, I'm actually impressed by it. But I do have some gripes about it, but that's just minor stuff, but more along the lines of personal things. And that, of course, being this. This is the Retevis throat mic and earpiece. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Now, this mic and earpiece setup actually does come in a nondescript box, a very simple box, and it actually does come with some neat little stuff, including, well, not the extended thing here. Just gonna get that out of there. Gonna get that out of there. Doesn't come with that, and doesn't come with that. I was kind of using the box for storage stuff, but what it does come with is, of course, an extra earpiece for your ear, as well, of course, as an extender to basically extend the throat part, simply because, if you get a larger throat. And yes, it does do that fairly well, but because of my small throat size, I don't really need to do that. But let's just go ahead and talk about the product itself. Again, nondescript box. I do kind of like the logo, honestly, kind of retro almost, harking back to the days of Canon films and, Orion Pictures, if you remember those from back in the day. So let's just go over this first and foremost. Probably seeing this. What is this? Well, this is your push-to-talk button. This literally has a very nice snappy click, very firm, affirmative click, and of course some nice Velcro for, Velcroing it to your kit to press, more or less. We'll get to that in a second. It also comes, of course, with a two-prong for, your radio, which is more or less for, baofengs. It is adjustable, has nice firm Velcro, and these right here is what is actually connected to your throat. We will get to that in a bit. But how you get to it, of course, is to undo this. I went with the left style with the earpiece on the right, which the earpiece, it confuses me because apparently the sound somehow travels through this tube. I don't know how. I wish I knew how. I don't know how. Anyway, so basically you put this around your throat as such, kind of fiddle with it a bit. You bring this around over your back. It would connect to your radio, or, you feed it through your equipment and gear, and then, of course, you would have the push-to-talk here, right up here, which the wire itself is completely separate, as you can see. And then the earpiece, finally, you snake in somehow. Get this in here, snake it in, try and get in, and it just sits there. And, again, it's bit of a pain to do, but it does sit there at least to a degree. It's you might have to warm up the plastic a little bit just to kind of mold it right, but it does set in place. I wore a helmet with this, and so far it's not as uncomfortable. A little bit of depth perception is kind of lost in this ear, but that's if I don't have the radio up loud, or if you don't have the radio up loud. And I didn't have the radio up loud actually when communicating, and if you watch the recent gameplay footage, you can actually hear me talking with my teammates, and the earpiece actually is loud enough. Even though it feels like it's going to fall out, it doesn't. It actually does sit pretty well. However, if you try to snake this through gear, it does kind of, you know, want to move this way. But then again, that's just more or less my issue in having it set up. But you can have it either be left or right ear-wise. But this is something I want to kind of talk about. But first, let's go ahead and talk about this right here. Removing the earpiece ain't that hard, so that's the good thing. So let's talk about this right here. Me, I don't like, because of how I am autistic-wise, high-functioning autism for those who are wondering, I don't like a lot of things touching my body in certain ways. For my throat, doubly so because of some minor traumatic experiences in my past, but it's one of those things. It feels like, to me at least, it's choking me, and I try to loosen it a bit, but it's definitely somewhat uncomfortable. I've talked with other people who've ran throat mics before, and they themselves have said that, yeah, no, it's a little bit uncomfortable for them, but not to my extent, at least. It does feel like it's trying to choke me a little bit, but again, that's just personal thing. It is comfortable, at least. It doesn't hinder my ability to speak, doesn't hinder my ability to kind of maneuver, shoulder a gun, what have you, and I've actually talked with the guys who I talk to. They say I do come in loud and clear with this because this is actually on your vocal cords, basically. When you're speaking, your vocal cords are making contact with the electronics here that are actually vocalizing what is being said. They're digitizing the vocalization of your speech from your vocal cords and communicating it to your teammates whenever you press the push to talk. And again, the technology is actually kind of cool in the fact that the technology actually goes as far back as the 1930s. So we've had throat mic technology since the 1930s, and was used extensively for a certain conflict. And yeah, we're not gonna dive too deep into that, but it is an interesting technology to say the least. When it comes to the earpiece, this is where I want to kind of express not liking it personally. I don't like it because of the way it's designed. If it was more, I guess, comfortable in a way, or at least more designed for ears, because again, I have tried to wear this right-eared, didn't work out pretty well, but when I put it through the left ear here, though, like, you can see what's going on here. This is, it is just not, it's weird. It feels like it wants to come out, but I know it's not going to come out, and it is just weird. It really is weird, and it's weird for me, but it works. That's the thing. Like, it's not going to come out. It actually does stay in place, basically, and it does. Again, I guess it's just because I'm weird, or at least kind of I don't like the feeling of certain things on my body itself, on my head. But it does stay in place. That's the good thing, and you can hear clearly out of the earpiece, even if it feels like it's not all the way in your ear itself. And that's the good thing, is I actually legitimately could hear my teammates. I could hear them all clearly. So, and again, the cool thing is that, like I showed with this, you can pull this off of, you know, your throat mic if you need to clean it. You can even pull a lot of things off it, actually. You can basically customize this however you want, and again, you can actually pull it off, replace it with whatever you want. And I will, of course, be cleaning this, you know, regularly clean your equipment that goes in your body or on your body. Just regularly clean it, like I do. It will work longer in the long run, and it will last longer in the long run. But seriously though, this legitimately does work. It works fantastic, and you can switch however you want. I mean, if you wanted to, you could have it to where the earpiece is here, and have it to where, you know, it's comfortably there instead of it being in this hook-like configuration. But if you want to warm up the plastic, you can warm it up a little bit, and you can mold it however you want it to. The tube legitimately can be warmed up, can be molded, again, however you want. Or if you want to shorten it a bit, you can cut it and you can put the thing in there. this is one of those weird things of, this is a rubbery, elastic type tube that you would find at, like, say, Walmart or a pet store, or, you know, something, or even in a PC shop, because that's essentially what this is. This is like those PC tubes you would use for water cooling. It's the same material. So it's not that hard to actually kind of replace this or get new ones if something was to happen to this piece. But in terms of the product itself and the mic itself, be it for a retro style build you're doing for a loadout, or even for sci-fi, or even just a out-of-the-way communication setup, the Retevis, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that correctly, I'll be honest with you guys. The throat mic here from Amazon legitimately actually works really, really good. And for basically sub $30, or even sub $28, that's a good steal on a budget. And that's comms on a budget. So if you're security, or paintballer, or an airsofter, nerfer, whatever, you need this type of out-of-the-way throat mic for your communication needs, take a look at it. Down below in the pinned comment will be a link to where you can get this on Amazon. And if you guys want to help out the channel, please consider checking out the links down below there as well. Among them, of course, is our friends at z-tac, who make honestly really cool adapters for Thunderbees. That's right, z-tac makes 9mm blank adapters for Thunderbees that turn them into 9mm blank sound grenades. Seriously, check them out. Or if you want to light up the night, then check out T238. T238 actually makes really cool tracer units for Gel Ball, Nerf, and Airsoft, or they make tracer units for just Airsoft. And they even make cool upgrade parts. Their motors are wicked, their gears are wicked, a lot of it's wicked at T238. Check out the link down below. Or if you want some cool airsoft gear from SS Airsoft or other interesting stuff, check out the other links down below as well. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL, and let me know in the comment section down below what you think of throat mics and your experiences with throat mics. And as always, folks, I will see you all in the next video. Till next time, later.